What is the sneakiest thing you did to get back at an awful neighbor? Did you get caught? 1. I had an upstairs neighbor in my family that was regularly using my laundry soap that lived in a storage basket by my washing machine. Both machines were in the basement. She did a lot of laundry and I would have a full container of detergent, then go down a week later to find it half empty. She always had a full thing of Tide, so I don't know why she used mine instead of her own. I tried putting the detergent more to the back of the washer, out of sight, but it kept happening. I used liquid detergent, so one day, I filled what was left of the bottle with gel bleach and shook it up. I bought new detergent that I just kept in my laundry basket in the apartment. It took 3 days. She ruined not one, but 2 full loads of clothes. She was distracted putting the first load in the dryer and didn't notice the bleached clothes, and so started a second load with the same detergent. She was pissed and confronted me, saying she had just needed to borrow some detergent that one time. I acted surprised and said, "Oh gosh, you should have asked. I needed the bleach bottle for something else, so I just transferred it to my detergent bottle. I had no idea you would be using my detergent, but if you had asked, I would have let you know that the bottle actually contained bleach." She then just laughed and said, "Now aren't you funny?" 2. I'm a disabled vet living in a trailer park. I have a small yard, but because of physical limitations, it takes me 2 days to mow my yard. The second day I went out to finish mowing and noticed that my gas can was gone. I looked all over for that darn thing before realizing that someone had stolen it. I went and got a plastic gas can. It has to be plastic. I put 1 gallon of gas in it, then a can of Drano, caustic soda, and finished filling the can with water. I left it out overnight, and lo and behold, it was gone. At the way station a mile toward town, there was a little white car sitting to the side. My gas can was in the back seat. I laughed my ass off. 2 weeks later it was finally gone. I went over to my neighbor, Larry, and asked him if he knew whose car that was. He did, so I told him what I had done. The next day he told me that the car's owners were going to sue me. I said fine, let them explain to the judge why they were stealing gas from a disabled vet. I never heard another word about it, and I could leave anything out in the yard after that, and no one would touch it. 3. Not sure if this counts, but when I was in high school I was visiting my cousin. We worked on each other's cars, so his neighbor had a beagle tied up in their yard that was freezing her little butt off. So of course the dog was crying. The neighbor comes out and starts screaming at the poor dog, and hitting it. So after it got dark, we went over and put the dog in my car and I drove home. When I explained to my mom what was going on, she readily accepted we had a new dog. The poor thing was so abused you couldn't lift your arm in the same room as it for months. We had that dog for 10 years. It never did get over being shy, and would run and hide at the slightest raised voice. 4. My parents owned a hobby farm. They were there only on weekends and holidays. Every time we would get there a large amount of firewood was missing. So my mother drilled a hole in one of them and inserted a small explosive item. Right in the next week, some firewood went missing. Then we heard that a fireplace exploded. It was a neighbor a half-mile down the road. Thanks to God no one got hurt. There was no more missing firewood after that. That was over 30 years ago.